The Joe Rogan Experience.
You know what my favorite movie of yours is?
What?
No Country for Old Men.
Why?
Because it's so fucked up.
Because it's so fucked up.
It's such a fucked up movie. It's and even the end when it ends, you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
That's the end?
Yeah.
It's like that guy, what's his name? Javier? What's his name?
Bardem.
God damn, that guy was a good psycho.
He was so good.
God damn. That movie was so, it was just so unusual and intense.
And there was no feeling, and people ask this all the time, there was no feeling that it was a special movie.
Really?
Yeah. I told you I went back to Marfa, Texas for the first time in 18 years with Stapleton, and the guy running the bank is the first guy that Javier kills in the movie. This is the guy running the bank right now, Chip.
Wow.
Right? And I talked to Chip. I have a picture of me and Chip. And I talked to Chip, and I said, fuck, you were the first guy, did you think that? And he said, no, that was a friend of a friend who said that they were auditioning people, and the reason I did it is because I figured nobody would ever see it. It seemed like a small... That's the proprietor. It's the first guy that Javier killed outside. That was a good scene, though.
What is that dude like in person, Javier?
The best. The sweetest human being. One of my best friends.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's inside of him, that he can...
Well, that's the thing.
That's what
makes him an artist.
Yes.
Because he's one of these guys that literally, he was so depressed during that thing.
Really?
Oh, my God, dude.
Because he didn't like doing it?
No, he was like, look at my hair. What the fuck? You know what I mean?
That's depressed him.
Look at him.
Oh, my God. He played
he's
such
genius in
a
it.
good psychopath.
He wore SPF 100. He had an umbrella all the time to keep the sun off him. You see how pale he looks?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the guy. The guy to the left, that's Chip. Can you stand there for a second, please?
So he was really depressed because of his hair?
Yeah, and me and Woody would take him out. We would take him out to the Cowgirl, what was it called? Cowgirl Cafe. And we would have drinks with him. We would make him, because he would stay in his apartment with the drapes drawn and all this kind of shit. He just didn't want to go out. He said, I don't like violence. I don't drive. I don't know why they hired me. Why the fuck did they hire me? Like, why am I here?
Well, how did he pull that out then?
And I'm from Spain.
Right.
This guy's not from Spain. I remember when we sat in a trailer, and he said, in that proprietor scene, he has this great line. He goes, call it. He takes the coin and goes like that. And he says, call it. And the guy says, I don't want to call it. And he says, you have to call it. It's destiny calling for you. And we were in his trailer, and Javier says, how do you say it? And I said, call it. And Javier kept saying, call it. And I said, no, dude, call it. Can you hear it?
Play.
For a whole lot.
Oh, put the headphones on.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
For a whole lot.
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it. You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything, call it.
All right. Heads, then.
Well done. Don't put it in your pocket.
Sir?
Don't put it in your pocket. It's your lucky quarter.
Where you want me to put it?
Anywhere not in your pocket. Or it'll get mixed in with the others and become just a coin. Which it is.
I mean, if you look at that from a different perspective, you say that scene could have been the worst scene ever. It's because of the simplicity of the scene. It just...
What's the consequences?
It's the
bloom
pause.
in the air.
It just
And
hangs.
it's, you know that this guy has some sort of weird morals.
It's so good, man.
Yeah, he's got some code that he lives by, and he's about to impose this code on this guy.
But
And he
that's
has no problem putting that bolt through his brain.
no problem. And the guy knows it. And he doesn't even know
Why
what
he knows it.
It's just
Right, he just
something
knows
that's-
it. Yeah.
And you sit there and you
Great
just kind of
fucking scene.
It's a great scene, man.
Yeah. How did you not know that movie was great while you were doing it?
Because it was so we were just
The Coen brothers are fucking amazing.
they're amazing, but you were just having they had done 2 movies that were sort of bigger than what they normally do. One was with Clooney and one was with Tom Hanks, and it didn't work.
Oh, Brother, Who Art Thou?
No, the fucking Oh Brother Where
I
Art Thou
love
was
that movie.
amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
What was the
Big
other
Lebowski. Was Lady Killers and what was the one
I
with
never heard of
Clooney?
that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But they, yeah, so
So
I
you just
think
had
that
this feeling
they
that-
just went back to this simple, like, Burn After Reading was after No Country, which was also really good, super good. But, yeah, they just kind of went back to this very kind of feral, base place and just said, let's just tell this simple story and let's let it happen. I don't know. I don't think they're like
How
this,
did you
but
not
like
know
maybe
why you were doing it, though? Like these
it just didn't have that
amazing
vibe.
scenes.
It didn't have that vibe. It was so simple.
Wild.
It was so simple. And
But
Into
then when
the
you
Wild,
saw it, though.
Into the what, dude? When I saw it with my kid, which was probably super irresponsible.
How old was your kid
He
at
was
the time?
16. He was like, that's
okay.
That's on the the cusp. But I saw it with him in an editing room on a big screen, and we left and we got in the car and we didn't talk for 15 minutes, and that's never happened.
Wow.
Like literally not one word.
Wow.
And then I said, "What do you think?" And he goes, "Fuck." Which is a great response.
That's that movie.
That's that movie.
That is that movie. That movie is
You want to tie it together too in the end, and like a typical Hollywood ending, and Javier and my character go head to head at the end, and that doesn't happen. So you do something, which is how it was written in the book, Cormac. And I got to know
really?
Cormac really well. I was with Cormac the night before he died, and
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
yeah. So, and I asked
That
him,
guy could fucking write.
fuck, dude, some of the greatest writing,
That guy could fucking write.
American writing ever
Yeah.
in the history
Yeah,
of this
man.
country.
There's something about his writing. It's like, Jesus Christ. this
That's
guy's-
another one of those guys, artists, where you go.
Mm-hmm.
I would ask him about his writing. He didn't want to talk about it ever. And then finally got mad at me one day, and he was like, I don't fucking know, man. I just sit down at the typewriter and it comes. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
Wow.
I was like, all right, man. Relax. Fucking 87 years old. Relax. But he could write. I mean, he was tapped into, and talk about a guy who just like, you were like the muse, and do you have a special place, and do you have this thing that, no.
Just sits down and writes.
The bed that he was on, it was me, his ex-wife, his son, and Cormac that last night.
Wow.
And always at the edge of his bed was that typewriter that he used for 25, 30 years to write all those novels. And then he had one before that was exactly the same. But that typewriter was on an old piece of wood at the foot of his bed.
Wow.
And even at the end, he would just grab that thing and
Wow.
get it out. It's cool.
Yeah, there's rare humans like that have that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just tap into
And they
something.
tap into it and then they just keep going. They
Yeah.
get on that path and they just keep going. It just keeps getting better. They just get better at it.